Hey everyone, me Kevin here. I am a 28-year-old real estate investor in Southern California, coming to you from a really old 1920s Sears-built kit home. This home was literally shipped here in a box 100 years ago, and today we're starting to renovate it. But in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about breaking down how much money I make from 22 rental properties that I own in Southern California. All of these are residential properties. They're a mix of single family and multifamily, and I'm excited to share with you some of the numbers behind why it makes sense to get into real estate investing. And instead of carrying around this pickaxe, I'm just going to have a pickaxe shirt from RuneScape on. Let's jump right into this. Just a quick reminder that this video is sponsored by Deal Machine. Deal Machine is an app that helps build my wealth investing in real estate by finding properties before they hit the market. Go to metkevin.com/deals to get your first set of marketing totally for free, and check out Deal Machine's YouTube channel to see step-by-step how Deal Machine can help you find real estate in today's competitive environments before it ever hits the market. All right, let's get started with the video. Number one, the only good real estate is real estate that's financed. Okay, let me explain, because I know that sounds crazy. Most debt is bad. We know that. Car debt, student loan debt, credit card debt, it's a burden that we carry with us. And we don't want that. In fact, we hate debt so much that we like to be able to scream when we finally paid off our debt. Debt sucks. And even in real estate, there are debts that are nasty and suck, that just drag people into bankruptcy or foreclosure with terrible loan terms like 2-year-long balloon payment notes, negatively amortized financing. I mean, when you're talking about the world of debt, it's literally like you're walking into a minefield, and it's just a matter of time until, well, click, you hit one. And that's not good. You don't want to hear the click when you're walking on a minefield. Maybe only when you're watching some of those movies is it interesting to hear the click, but beyond that, you don't even want to think about minefields. Well, fortunately, the US government has created something that almost no other country has, maybe with the exception of Canada, which is probably the only country that even gets close to this. The United States government has sponsored something called the 30-year fixed rate mortgage, which is fully amortized. That means if property values go down, the bank doesn't call you to say, hey, yo, pay up. It doesn't matter what property values are. As long as you make your monthly payment every single month for 30 years, that property is going to be paid off and entirely yours after 30 years. Some people even make an extra payment just once a year, and they end up taking that 30-year loan down to like an 18-year loan. But that's really a topic for a different video. And after all, why are we talking about debt when we should be talking about how much money all these rental properties make me? Well, it's because debt is actually a tool that helps make a substantial amount of money when it comes to real estate. Think about it this way. When you take an apartment building with 5 units and your total monthly payments on the thing with property taxes, a manager, repairs, and all in is $3,000 per month, but you rent out the building for $5,000 per month or $1,000 per unit, you generally have cash flowing real estate. Heck, you could move into one of the units, get $4,000 in rent, still cover all of your expenses, and live for free. That's called house hacking. And so this goes to show that there's money to be made in real estate. But we'll talk more about cash flow in just a moment. When you have cash flow and a 30-year mortgage, you have a situation where every single month, your tenant is actually paying down your real estate for you. And this is why when we ask how much money do my 22 rental properties in Southern California make me, I have to start out by talking about my principal paydown. Every single month when my tenants pay rent, I take that money and I pay the mortgage. Since with 22 properties in Southern California, my entire portfolio, once I finish this renovation and the other renovations I got going on, my portfolio will be worth about $21 million. That is, if I decided to, after these renovations, to just dump my entire portfolio, I should be able to sell all of my portfolio for $21 million at today's prices. I'm not even talking about 6 months or 5 years from now. Today's prices. With 30-year fixed rate debt on all of these properties and an average of about 50% debt, meaning I have somewhere around $10.5 million in debt, which that alone sounds pretty nuts. I mean, that's 8 figures of debt. But hold on, we'll talk about the benefits of that. I promise we'll get to that. Watch, a bunch of you are gonna click out and go, this guy got over 8 figures in debt. I'm not. I get it, but stay tuned and listen to the rationale behind this because it's crazy. With $21 million in assets and $10.5 million in debts coming when it comes to real estate, I get 2 really, really awesome things. The first thing I get is inflation protection. And then we're gonna talk about some tangible numbers here, some real numbers. But I gotta hit on this because it's so true, especially in this day and age when we keep hearing about the Federal Reserve running that money printer faster and faster and faster. In the event we see inflation or even larger inflation over the next few years, debt becomes easier to pay off. So one of the beautiful things to do in times before high inflation is to get more real estate debt or debt that's tied to assets. Because here's the thing, as inflation happens, the money that I could make working goes up. The money that I in general make and the money in general society makes goes up. But our money becomes worth less. And that sounds really bad, but in a debt situation, it's really good. My debt becomes worth less. And see, the bank never tells me, hey, we had 1% inflation, you now owe us 1% more money. Even though I could go out and charge people 1% more for my 3D scans or my real estate services as a broker, the bank doesn't tell me I owe them more. So it actually becomes easier for me to pay off my debt. And if you think about it, that's why America never paid off their debt from World War II. The economy just kept growing and growing and growing, and the debt that used to be really big kind of relatively became smaller and smaller and smaller as part of the economy. And so as inflation happens and people's wealth grows or the country's wealth grows, debt becomes less and less important, as long as it's good debt, ideally in our personal cases, secured by real estate. So as inflation happens, the debt becomes worth less. And so the long and short of it is, the more debt I have in real estate, the more protected I am against inflation. And that sounds crazy, but it's awesome. And it's true as long as I pay the bank. Every single month I pay the bank, my principal balance goes down. And this brings up the next thing. See, I have tenants who are paying the mortgage for me. And on $10.5 million of debt, tenants are paying down about $17,000 of principal for me every single month. That means every single year, my tenants just paying their bills bumps my net worth by about $215,000 doing absolutely nothing. And I rounded the 17,000 a little bit. It's a little more than 17,000 in case you're doing 17 times 12. It works out to about $215,000 per year, where I get a bunch of mortgage statements. I look at the mortgage statements and ordinarily we get a bill. We're like, ah, crap, I got a bill. Well, when I look at my mortgage statement, I look at that and go, sweet. How much did my net worth just go up from the tenant basically paying down my loans for me? And this is true when you buy your first house as well. When I bought my first house for $305,000 and I got the mortgage payment every single month, I got excited to look at, sweet, how much money in principal did I pay down this month? So principal pay down is huge. So the first way we make money in real estate, principal pay down. And we get the bonus of inflation protection. Now, we can't really put a value on that. We just know that at some point in the future, if we see inflation or more inflation, that becomes useful. Even if it's only 1% inflation or 2% inflation, that's a benefit to me. That's an extra 1 to 2% that I get that the bank does not get. And I like that. Then we get to cash flow. So I've currently got 9 projects under renovation, and I'm standing in one. This place needs some help and some love. And this particular area in Santa Barbara, California, desperately needs not only love for properties like this, but it also needs affordable housing. And in this particular project, what we're going to do is I'm going to take the front part of this house and turn this into what it used to be, a really awesome 2-bedroom, 1-bath house. That's what this house used to be, except somebody decided to add a loft onto the top in the attic space and add on to the back of the property. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to legally separate those units with permits, plans, and everything. And I'm going to turn the top into a studio, the back into a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, and I will turn this house into 3 units. Then, in the backyard, I'm going to take this old barn and I'm going to restore this to turn it into a garage with a 2-unit apartment building. So I should be able to have 2 1-bedroom or even 2-bedroom, 1-bath units in the back with garage spaces. And that's gonna be awesome for my cash flow. Now, in fairness, could I have just YOLO'd all my money and thrown it onto Bitcoin and probably made some good money? Yes. I could have probably also just thrown it all into Tesla stock and made some good money as well. But for diversification's sake, hey, we got real estate and we got some renovations going on. About half of the real estate I own is currently under renovation, which means I got a lot of projects going on. Once all of my projects are finished and these insane improvements that I'm doing, like adding units and creating ADUs and properties, all legally and above board, I should have an amazing, for California at least, cash flow after all expenses of around 6%. Now, this is probably around 2.5% better than what most of Southern California gets, so 6% is pretty dang good. And it's possible because I bought these properties below market value substantially, and I improved on them. I mean, just look around this place. This place is a complete disaster. And take a look at what it looked like before. I mean, it looks bad now, it looked even worse before. And this is what I do. So just a heads up, when I say that I buy properties under market value, what I mean is, unlike stocks, when a house or multifamily building sells, it usually only sells for the most money possible when it's in the most ideal condition. Ideal condition for multifamily means that the maximum market rents have already been achieved by the owner. And ideal condition for single-family homes means it's not full of mold or stinky carpet, it doesn't look nasty because it's got nasty bathrooms or nasty kitchens or any of that. All of those things tend to make properties sell below market value. And I teach exactly how to analyze and how to find these deals in my real estate investing course linked down below. Out of all of the courses I have, this is by far my most popular. And most course members who buy this course love it so much that they end up grabbing the other courses I have as well, because my programs actually teach you how to build wealth and make money. These are strategies that actually get you started, and they come from a place of not only being an investor for 10 years, but being a broker who knows how to be a lender, how to be a salesperson, how to work with sellers, how to work with buyers, how to do all of those things, how to work with inspectors, the city, all of those things combined help you make money in real estate. So that's one of the reasons I love real estate relative to stocks so much. And look, I love stocks too, but the reality is when I buy Tesla for $500 a share, I'm spending $500 a share on Tesla. I'm only speculating that maybe it'll be worth more tomorrow or it'll be worth less tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen. But with real estate, when I can buy real estate below market value, I know I could sell the property for more money tomorrow. And that's because I'm taking advantage of inefficiencies in the marketplace that don't always exist in stocks. But anyway, 6% cash flow on $21 million should net me around $120,000 per year, or $10,000 per month in cash flow alone doing nothing. But there's an asterisk here. See, because of the crazy real estate laws that exist that allow so many tax write-offs, I could write off so many paper expenses, like through cost segregation or real estate depreciation, I don't actually have to pay taxes on the rental income that comes from my real estate. So here's just an example of what that means. Let's say I get $120,000 in dividends from AT&T. And AT&T does great in terms of dividends, okay? In terms of owning the actual stock, I don't know. But let's say I did, and I got $120,000 a year in AT&T dividends. Well, I would be paying about 33% in taxes on that out here in California. So that means I'm actually only getting about $80,400 from my dividends. That kind of sucks, because I had to partner with Uncle Sam on that. I got the $80,400, they got the $39,600. Well, because of the tax write-offs that exist in real estate, I get to keep the extra $39,600. Now, obviously, we're just doing a rough overview here, of my portfolio, and we're not actually sitting down like a CPA and going through all these numbers. So when it comes to tax write-offs, make sure you talk to your CPA about depreciation and cost segregation to see if it's right for you. So yeah, that means I get an extra $39,600 that I wouldn't get to keep if I got the investment from a different source. So it's kind of like I got an extra $39,600 of income compared to other investment strategies. So this is unique to real estate. Therefore, we're adding it to the list. So that means we got $215,000 for principal paydown, we got $120,000 for cash flow, and we got $39,600 in tax savings. That's pretty dang freaking awesome. But we're not even at the fun part yet. This actually gets me to talking about another cool source of income, and this has to do with how much I was able to get these properties under market value. Now, we're not actually going to include this in my recurring annual calculations because this boost only happens once. It happens when you buy the properties. This is why you hear so many real estate professionals say you make a deal on the buy, not on the sell. You get a good deal up front, that's how you make the extra boost of money. So seeing as I bought most of my properties for 30 to 40% under market value, and then I spent money fixing them up, I can confidently say that my net worth increased by about $5 million simply because I bought properties below market value. And I'm not even talking about appreciation here, I'm just talking about, I bought a place for, here's just a very real example, you can even look this one up on YouTube because I made videos on it, it's called the Hoarder House, so just type into YouTube, Meet Kevin Hoarder House. But anyway, I bought a place for $450,000, I put 55 grand into it. Right now, that place is selling in a neighborhood where the exact same model is selling for over $725,000. That place, let's just say mine's worth $700,000. That means I am up $195,000 in net worth on that one purchase alone. Obviously, I could flip it, but then I'd have to pay selling fees and I'd have to deal with taxes, and I don't want to deal with that right now. Instead, I'm gonna keep these all as part of my portfolio because, well, once you get through this video, you'll see why would I sell real estate if anytime I sell real estate, I reduce the size of my portfolio. I just want to focus on growing the portfolio because the benefits of real estate are insane. So this basically means for my portfolio, I paid somewhere around $16 to $17 million, and this portfolio is now worth $21 million. And remember, I started with $9,000 buying my first property. So anybody can do this. I saved up $9,000 working at Jamba Juice and Red Robin. If you're watching this, you could do this as well. It takes time to build a portfolio. I just started building it a while ago, so it should feel inspiring, I suppose, is where I'm trying to go with that. Now, let's talk more about this, because buying deals below market value and improving on them is awesome, but you have to know what you're looking for. Now, I will also say one objection that I frequently get is, hey, well, Kevin, I mean, so what? The properties are up in value. How do you use that money? And this year, 2020, has been the perfect example of how you use that money. So I had bought many deals below market value before the pandemic. And when the pandemic started coming to America right around March 6th, I got on the phone with my lender and I said, yo, we're about to have things hit the fan. I want to refinance every property that I can to take out as much cash as possible to have that dry powder, so to speak, to go to war, aka cash in my pocket to go to war. And when the pandemic struck 30 days later and I had a bunch of money in the bank from these refinances, guess what I was able to do? I was able to go shopping for really dirt cheap stocks. And then I started buying real estate again in around May and June, which is right before the real estate prices really started taking off again. Now, I look back at that and I go, oh my gosh, some of the timing there was insanely lucky. Like, you can't plan to replicate that. But the fact that I had these below market value deals on the books, so to speak, and available to be broken and smashed like a piggy bank to give me cash to go shopping in stocks, that's what you want to prepare for. And so this is where I want to take a moment just to again shout out a Deal Machine. Deal Machine is a great opportunity to buy properties before they hit the market, because what you could do is you could drive by a property, take a photo of it, and automatically send a mailer to the owner of the property, whether they live there or wherever their mailing address is. Your information will go to the tax billing address of that owner. And what's so cool about that is you can put your face on there and your name and your information on there and say, look, I'm in this town looking to buy some real estate for my family. If you want to save realtor fees, I'll make a deal with you before your property ever hits the market if you're interested in selling. Give me a chance. And the cool thing is, even if you find a deal that you don't end up wanting, you could probably call somebody like me and go, Kevin, I found a deal. Do you want to buy it? I don't want it. Go check them out at metkevin.com/deals. Now, the next way we make money on real estate is absolutely my favorite way. It's a way that takes absolutely no effort, but it is location dependent. So it's always really important if you're looking into real estate that you keep in mind, yes, location does matter. Stay away from those high tension power lines, stay away from those busy streets, stay away from those highways, stay away from the funky stuff. Instead, focus on good quality areas that have low poverty rates and ideally population growth. This helps you build real estate appreciation. Think of appreciation like Tesla stock. One day it goes down a little bit, and the next day it goes up a bit. And then it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up. It's like a roller coaster. But in general, over the long run, real estate prices tend to go up consistently. In fact, real estate on average trends up about 3% per year. In the last 12 months, real estate has been a little bit more spectacular. It's gone up about 14 to 15% nationwide. It has been absolutely insane in real estate in the last 12 months. So here, this is obviously a really nice opportunity where things have gone up and up and up and up, and there will be downs, so things will average out. And so in this case, we're just going to assume that over the long run, real estate should appreciate around 3% per year. Well, that means when I bought my first place that was worth around $400,000, $450,000 after I fixed it up, when 3% appreciation happened, my net worth went up by about $12,000 a year, doing nothing. That was freaking awesome. Well, now with a real estate portfolio and old kerosene lamps sitting around, jeez, what am I gonna do with all this stuff? Now with a portfolio worth around $21 million, 3% appreciation works out to $630,000 per year. That's more than $500,000 per year doing nothing. See, the beauty is control. In America, in order to succeed, you have to have control. And this is either control by owning real estate, owning stocks, or by owning businesses. If you don't own real estate, stocks, or businesses, you're going to have a lot harder time succeeding in America. In fact, the institutions that exist in America and your ability to write off expenses and take advantage of tax loopholes and tax savings is basically non-existent for you if you don't own real estate, stocks, or businesses. So if you're working for somebody and all you've got is a savings account, you really ought to consider getting into one of these things. Otherwise, you're getting screwed in America. This is why I made the video, why the 1% screws the 99% in America. Watch that video. I go through a ton of these detailed loopholes. It's a great one. If we add this up, we get $215,000 in principal paydown. That's literally just paying off the loans. $120,000 in cash flow, $39,600 in the tax benefit of not having to pay taxes on that $120,000 in cash flow. And keep in mind that principal paydown, I don't pay any taxes on that either, which has its own host of tax benefits. But folks, I think after this video, you're gonna want real estate enough. We don't have to go crazy here. And when we add in real estate appreciation of $630,000, which is also not taxed, we get to a grand spanking total of $1,004,000 of annual net worth gains that I get because of owning this $21 million real estate portfolio. I literally don't have to do anything anymore. The only thing that keeps me excited is sharing this information, and literally every single day, no matter what videos I do, trying to recommend to you that you get into investing in real estate and stocks because it's worked so well for me. Now, I don't want to say that there aren't downs. There are always downs of everything. I mean, look at this place that I'm standing in. This place I'm standing in has its headaches as well. But the reality is, real estate can be crazy. And what's even more crazy is because I'm a real estate broker, and this is just the insanity that exists in this world, because I'm a real estate broker and I spend so much time teaching real estate and investing in real estate and building real estate and renovating real estate, I'm considered a real estate professional, which lets me take even more tax deductions on real estate and an unlimited amount of losses to basically limit the amount of taxes I pay from other sources of income, which is also unfreaking believable. But again, what did we say? Real estate, businesses, and stocks help you eliminate paying taxes. It's insane. You gotta get in to understand it though. Once you have these things, it's a lot easier. Now, in fairness, Lauren does manage these properties and she does deal with all of the management regarding these. I do have to deal with renovating the projects and setting them up and finding the deal and fixing them up. So there is some work that goes into that. But after everything, we still sit at a place where, oh my gosh, real estate is insanely worth it. But after everything, I can happily say I invest in real estate alongside my stocks as a way to diversify and make what I think is much more guaranteed money. See, stocks, look, I'll go heavy on stocks like Tesla, and I've been throwing money into NEO, and I love stocks like Square, Amazon, Apple, Redfin, Etsy. I love these stocks. You could see my top stocks by going to metkevin.com/1337V14. Those are like my top 40-ish stocks. I love those. But the reality is when I buy those, I don't know with certainty, and I'll do my fundamental analyses on them. I think Tesla is going to be a $1,000 stock in the next few years. But just wait for it. At some point, it'll be $1,000 again. I believe it. Within the next 5 years, we'll hit $1,000 at Tesla again. But with real estate, I take way less risks because I can guarantee my wealth. And that lets me put more money into plays like Tesla because I'm diversified with real estate. So sure, could I just sell everything and YOLO it all into the next charging stock, the EV charging stocks that are going nuts, or Bitcoin? Of course, but I wouldn't sleep as well at night because real estate gives me that foundation that I know is always going to be consistent. And that's what I love about real estate, especially since I can buy real estate below market value using the strategies that we talk about in my real estate investing course. Hey, if you found this helpful, consider sharing this video, subscribe to the channel for more insight like this. I have a real estate playlist dedicated to only real estate information if you like that. There's also a stocks and Federal Reserve playlist that you can look at as well. And that way, if you're not so interested in news, you have this content as well. And if you specifically want to go deep and get ready to build some real wealth with real estate, check out the real estate course down below. 0 to Millionaire. Use that coupon code, and folks, we'll see you in the next one.